It's a new day, another week. The month of April gradually coming to an end. It's a perfect time for me to welcome you to another episode of The Gliders on BetWGB TV. My name is Emmanuel Sebastian, standing in once again as your host instead of Joy, who's not here today. And it promises to be an entertaining show. I've got two of the very best on set with me to give you the very best of analysis from the talking points over the weekend. And I mean, we've got Bolu the last time on the show, and we decided to bring him back today. Howbeit, it was a very short notice, but you know, when you give people that short notice and they turn up, you always want to appreciate them. So Bolu, thank you once again for being on the show today.
Yeah, always a pleasure to be here. The first time I made my appearance was a great one. I enjoyed myself. Hopefully I enjoy myself again today.
All right, definitely you will. We have a lot to talk about on the show. I don't know if I should welcome Timothy, but I mean, it's one of our regular members.
Yeah.
But Timothy, good to have you on the show once
Yeah,
again.
good to be back on the Gliders. I'm liking this year. Is it 17 Pro Max? Abi? Because you just the front up since.
I mean, it's the same phone I've been using, but without the phone is naked right now.
There's no evidence. There's no evidence. Don't worry. Leave the explanation.
You know, there's something about white phones and all that. I don't know. It tends to, you know, give you that kind of confidence, that kind of feel. I don't know if you have any friend who use a white gadgets.
I prefer black, and that's why even when I was going to get my phone last year, the previous one was black. My pouch was black. When I was going to get the last one too, I ensured I was black because you can pick variants. So when I was going to buy the pouch too, I bought the black one. I'm not really like the white person for gadgets. I don't really like it's coming so flashy, and maybe because of I'm photophobic, because white background really kind of affects me. Maybe, I don't know, but it's just one thing. I just prefer it darker. It's my phone too, my gadgets, my laptop is always on dark mode rather than, I see people using Twitter, Instagram on the light mode, but I prefer to use them in dark mode. So I don't know, maybe that's the reason why, but I prefer it in dark.
But do you prefer phones with pouch, your gadgets with pouch, or without? Because for me, you know, I hardly drop things. So sometimes people get pouch because the phones they fall for their hand or whatever. I can hold the phone. I mean, it hardly drops from me and all that. So I don't know. There's just this feel when you hold the phone bare. You love holding your gadgets bare with
I mean, I have to protect my phone. So I have to apply the pouch of yours. And I like black. Black, one of my favorite colors. So the pouch has to come in black.
All right, away from gadgets, away from the frenzy, let's head into football. And one of the biggest talking, I wish I had an Arsenal button now to imitate that man who did that thing. But I don't have an Arsenal bottle here with me. But I mean, it was Arsenal. Another loss against City at the Manchester Stadium. They lost by 2-1. Bolu, perfect time to bring you in on the show. So as Arsenal finally bottled it. That's the question. So, I mean, because they're still ahead now. City have a game in hand. But have they bottled it? Have they finally bottled it for you?
I think they've still got a chance, you know, to actually win the league. Because, again, you look at how they performed against Manchester City, which looked like the decider, you know, according to some people.
It's a great performance. Right?
Yeah, I think it was a better performance than the performance against Bournemouth. And a lot of people questioned, you know, the mentality, the way they performed. That where exactly was this performance when they played Bournemouth? You know, where was this performance when you played the Carabao Cup final against City? You know, because again, if you want to win the league, you have to earn it. You have to perform at optimum level. I mean, they were able to come out not defending so resolutely. You know, just come out. You know, they had numbers. You know, in the half of the City of the City side, and I mean they performed so well. I mean the bravery for me was it for me, and I think one thing they were lacking all this while, and all of the games they've lost was the mentality. But if they had performed the way they performed against City yesterday, in other games, especially against lesser side, you know, which they are better than, I mean, we will not have this conversation in the first place. We will not be having this conversation of, you know, and maybe the game yesterday could have been just another game and not a game where we will say, okay, City has got a chance and they feel that if City defeats, you know, the table toppers, then they will be champions. Because if you look at the way they celebrated yesterday at the end of it all, I mean, City has this they're in second position. They're not even top yet. But the way they celebrated our win yesterday for City, it looks as though they will win it. And it's because they've been here before.
Or more like they know this Arsenal team are
exactly. And
shaky
you know,
all that.
it goes back to what Rodri said last season when they played Arsenal. That he saw fear in some of the players, how they approach the game, and all of that is still happening till now. So I mean, it's a mentality problem from some of these players. Some of them are not winners. I mean, they've not won it at no point in their career. Arteta has been building for 5-6 years now, and it looks as if he still lacks some winning mentality, in his decision making. Because again, you go back to 2 years ago, 2022, when Arsenal were playing the fine, entertaining football, and you just oppose that to what they are doing currently this season. I mean, you're not playing all of that. A lot of people have criticized them.
If they go over the line, would you bring this up as they go over the line winning a couple of trophies?
I mean, I'm talking based on what is on ground currently. I mean, if they go over the line and win it, all fair and good. I mean, it will be, a lot of people target as one of the most worst team to win the Premier League. If Arsenal go over the line, they'll be tagged as one of the worst Premier Leagues. Because again, if you look at how they played, it's not as if they're actually the best team in the land. It's not as if they have one of the best strikers in the league that help them win it. I mean, if they go over the line, if you compare it to Leicester team that won the league, they had Vardy, they had Mahrez, who were scoring goals. I mean, there are players that took it upon themselves and say, today I'm going to take this game by the scruff of the neck and I'm going to decide the game. Arsenal don't have those kind of players. I mean, all the players that Arteta has built the team around, Martin Odegaard, Bukayo Saka, all of these players are fizzling out at this point. I mean, Odegaard has faced injury for the most part of the season. Saka has barely been available, throughout the season. The striker you bought into the side haven't had so much services to score a lot of goals. And Kai Havertz, who has also been in and around, this thing, has not also been very available. So, in the end, I mean, if they win the title, all fair and good. I mean, they at least they won the title, whichever way they win the title. But at this point, I don't look like I don't see them winning it. But again, they still got 5 games to go.
Yeah.
If they can pull up the kind of performance we saw against City in the next 5 games and win all those 5 games, I think they'll be champions. But because if you look at what City have done, I mean, if you look at the stats, Pep has won the most games in April.
This period.
Period, he's always in. He knows how to. He knows this is the period where he wins the league.
The business end.
And he gets all the results. I don't think he has lost a game in April, as compared to Arsenal, who in the last 4 years they've won just one game. They've not won in April. The only game now they've won this April is the one they defeated Sporting in the Champions League. In the Premier League, they've not won a game. And if you look at also the way they've played compared to the first half of the season, they've dropped in performance. I mean, they've lost 3 games this year. They've lost back-to-back games. I mean, these are not stars that actually gives any Arsenal fan or even the players themselves the confidence and say we're going to win the league. But again, if you go by that performance, I mean, it was a great performance from Arsenal. If they can up the ante, score a lot of goals, start creating chances and ensure that they feed the strikers, I mean, from there on, we don't know what could happen.
I mean, they host Newcastle for the final game in April, so we wait to see if they would eventually go on to pick up a win. But Timothy, let me come to you. I mean, Arsenal 21 wins, 7 draws, 5 losses. Same with City, 7 draws, 5 losses, but 20 wins for Manchester City. Do you agree it's a mentality thing? This Arsenal side not knowing to get over the line and not having, players who can take the game by the scruff of the neck, like he said. So do you agree?
Yeah, I agree, because if you go the first 49 games of the season in all competitions and you lose just 3 games, I mean, that's super, and that means you're at the top. But if towards the end of the season, when everything matters most, and then you lose 4 games out of 6 and win just 1, I mean, in fact, the one they won against Sporting Lisbon, the UEFA Champions League, it was just a game where you just felt, okay, let's just get the win. And I think we described the goal the last time when we were on the show, talking about how it was just a goal that came off, not really off anything, but just came and then Havertz took the chance. So it means that they are in that position where you're supposed to be in that stage where you are supposed to be scary, but now you're no longer scary. And then like Bolu said, and you have also said, they played better against Manchester City. Maybe if they had won against Bournemouth, or if that performance had come against Bournemouth, the City game would not matter. But I still have an issue with losing just 3 games across 49, and then the last towards the end of the season, in 6 games you have lost 4. It doesn't it doesn't do well for your confidence. It doesn't do well for your mentality. And then look at the game against Manchester City, like Rodri described last season. You can see, you just look at the players. I mean, see the mistake that Raya wanted to make in the beginning when Alan charged him. Although you could say Donnarumma made the same thing, but when Raya made that mistake, you could not see that place of confidence, or the players even going to him and say, okay, let's motivate him. You saw Gabriel, normally, I don't know, but Gabriel in that position against Ryan Cherki, I don't think Gabriel that I know would have done that thing where he was trying to bend his leg over. I thought that there was a way he could have marked and tried to stop Ryan Cherki, even though, okay, Cherki is that guy that is kind of deceitful in the way he plays the football, but there's just that place where you see these players and you are seeing that, okay, there's no much confidence in them. Maybe there's something that they're just scared of. You know that thing that you have gone against this team about 2 or 3 times, and then every time you have gone against them, when I mean gone against them in terms of title chase, and then they've always come out top, and then you are in that position again and you kind of feel like, oh, can we do this? Even if we put in all our efforts, can we still? Because there are some games, in all honesty, there are some games where Arsenal have played their best football against Manchester City and they have still lost. So maybe it's just one of those things, and you kind of not fault Arteta for sometimes going into these games where it feels like, let's just get a draw. I mean, if Arsenal had gotten a draw yesterday, you probably feel like, okay, even if City wins against Burnley on Wednesday, they'll still have that 1 point edge.
Yeah.
And then when you still see yourself at the top, you can now say, okay, let's pick it up from here. But I agree it's a mentality thing. And then, like Bolu did say, not many of them have won a trophy. The ones that have won a trophy, maybe Declan Rice winning the UEFA Conference League. Martin Odegaard has not won anything. I don't think Bukayo Saka, the closest he has come is winning the Euros with England. I think in 2020 and in 2024, when they lost in the final to Italy and Spain respectively.
But the manager has been part of the City backrooms team that way.
Yeah, but when you keep coming in, I understand you, but it's a different thing because you are the manager, you are not the coach. So you are the manager, I mean, you are not the players. The players, there's that thing with when you gather players who have won stuff together. I mean, look at Rodri, they won the league. Look at Bernardo Silva, they've won the league severally. Even Maguire still won the FA Cup last season. Look at Kusanov that was brought in. Donnarumma won the Champions League last season.
No, PSG.
I mean, look at every one of these players. Ryan Cherki I think he won the cup with Lyon before he came to Manchester City. So it's a thing that, okay, these players are used to winning. And they also play under a manager that, I don't know if I'll see obsessed with football, but to be very honest, someone said it's better for a policeman to chase you than Pep Guardiola to chase you. And in all honesty, Guardiola is really obsessed with football. I mean, every time he talks football, even at press conferences, on the sidelines, you could see that he just wants to win. I want to win it all, and you can't blame it. It's just that person that, okay, this is my life. This is everything I have lived my life for. When I was a young person, I was a footballer. I transitioned into coaching. So why should I not be the one winning? Why should I be the guy that say, oh, always come second? Why should I be the guy that lost the Champions League final? Why should I be the guy that goes into this season and did not win the league? So it's just one of those things. We have 8 players, Yaya Toure, Ian Ruben, talk about Guardiola calling them at odd hours to talk about football with them. It shows you how much of a winner this man is. So, and if you're up against such a man who also has players that have won something, not just something, they've won the league, they've won the Super Cup, UEFA Super Cup, they've won the UEFA Champions League, they have a Ballon d'Or winner. I mean, everything. They have goal scorers that have won the top goal scorer. So it's just one of those things. You kind of find it difficult, but hopefully, I don't know, because it's quite dicey now. Arsenal are still not out of it, but if Burnley if Manchester City get to win against Burnley on Wednesday, then they'll go top. From there, there's one thing that people say: when Guardiola is smelling blood, he puts everything over the line, and then somehow there's no that distraction of the Champions League again, and that's one card Arsenal still have. You are thinking of winning the league. Somewhere in your head, you're still thinking of facing Atletico Madrid. It's not one of those games where you say, okay, you go and roll past. if it was one of those fringe teams, there's a way you kind of jostle your way around. But Atletico Madrid may not be the top best of teams in terms of Champions League or maybe quality, but still you don't go playing against Atletico Madrid thinking that you have won just on paper. So there's that distraction there. There's also that distraction of winning the league. City will play their semi-final of the FA Cup on Saturday. I think against Southampton.
Yeah,
that's a rollover for City. I don't want to say when I mean rollover. Yes, it's a rollover on paper, but still you don't expect Guardiola to go into that game trying to put in all of his best players, and consider it to when Arsenal will play Atletico Madrid. It will be at a very, very crucial period towards the end of the season. So that distraction there is also something that may affect. And do you want to say, let's put in all our efforts into the Champions League and let's leave out the league? If you put all your efforts, get into the final, you can still go into the final and lose. So it's quite dicey for us now. And then there's a whole lot that still has to be done for them. But hopefully, let's see if they can get it over the line. But it's quite tough. I think at this stage in time, I'll be predicting that Manchester City will win the league.
I mean, quite dicey for Arsenal, like you said. I mean, we don't have an Arsenal fan on set here, but Arsenal fans in the comments, if you were to pick one, are you going to face the Champions League or the Premier League? If you were to pick, I know, yes, you would love to win both, you love to go for both, but if it's put to you, Premier League or the Champions League, I mean, they've not won any European trophy.
Sacrifice one for one.
Let me just throw it to you guys. I mean, I know you guys are not, but Bolu, if you're an Arsenal fan, are you going to go for the Premier League or the Champions League if you had to pick one of those two trophies?
I mean, there's a reason why we're having a conversation about Arsenal winning the Premier League title. And I mean, they've not won it in 22 years now. So it's about the Premier League. It's why they've been building for 6 years.
But they've not won an European trophy as well. So
I mean, in as much as a lot of people say that Champions League is quite easier than the Premier League, I still feel that the Premier League is even more important for them because the Champions League is very difficult. I mean, there's no room for mistakes in the Champions League, and you're not playing Burnley, you're not playing Bournemouth. You're playing quality. You're playing champions of the other team, of other leagues, the likes of Bayern. You're playing Real Madrid. You're playing Barca. I mean, we saw what happened with that formidable side that Arteta has been building for 5 years. We saw what they did against Real Madrid. And we saw how they faltered against PSG. So these are the qualities that are still there at the stage of this season. So, I mean, if you don't even have a side that can score goals, but you can still find a way to win games against the likes of West Ham, against the likes of... So, I think the Premier League they should just focus on the Premier League. The Premier League is the reason why they've been building for years. It's not the Champions League. The Champions League, you can still win the Premier League first. And let bring that jinx first before you can now think of the Champions League.
Timothy, do you agree?
Yeah, I think I would agree with what Bolo have said because the fans are starved and they go in. What the fans can watch every 2 weeks at home. I'm talking about home away, going home and away is the Premier League, and then they've not won it in 22 years. The last time they won it, I mean, they've had so many coaches gone through. They've had different array of players. I know that Champions League is also big, but I don't know. It's quite dicey.
They'll take any at this point.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, let them just. It's difficult for them, honestly. There's that distraction of should I focus on the Champions League or should I play the Premier League and try to win? But like Bolo has explained, it's tougher in the Champions League if you look at the quality of teams they have to play. It's also tough in the Premier League. Doesn't mean it's easy for them, but these are teams that they're not just playing. They play these teams. I mean, I don't know. But in the past 1 year or so, Arsenal, their next game is against Newcastle. I'm sure they've played against Newcastle about 4 times. Then after that, they play Fulham. I'm sure they've played Fulham about 3 times. So these are teams that you are used to playing, and then you can find your way around these teams rather than playing Atletico Madrid that you have probably not played. They play them in the league phase. Yeah. But this is not a team that you are used to playing, so they can come up with something different, and then before you know it, you're out of the competition. So why not just focus on those who you know season in, season out, that you know, okay, this is how we can probably approach the game, and let's try to get our win.
I would love them to win the Champions League though, but I'm not an Arsenal fan. I'll leave that to the Arsenal fans in the comments. You're talking about the Atletico Madrid game. It's sandwiching between the Newcastle game and the Fulham game for Arsenal. I mean, they are yet to taste defeat in the Champions League, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Had a perfect league phase record heading to the knockout phase, and they've been progressing, going strong in the Champions League. In the group phase as well, I think they finished top. Bayern was second. And to lead me to my next talking point now, Bayern Munich, they are the team, team of the moment now. 35th Bundesliga title over the weekend, and just before that, especially after that game against Real Madrid, and I mean Olise was fantastic, and there was this conversation online. I decided I'll bring it to the Gliders. I'm sure you guys know where I'm heading to now.
You always bring this. No, you go join for this one.
We always have our say on the show. Now, there's a talk of Michael Olise and Lamine Yamal. Two fantastic players. Bolu, Lamine Yamal, or Michael Olise. No sitting on the fence. Who is the better player, and who would you?
Why don't you want to sit on the fence?
No, let's hit it straight.
All right, so these are two talented players.
No doubt.
Absolutely super players. Game changers, game winners. They take hold of the moment. They decide games. When you see. When you watch some of these big games, one thing I look out for, in big games are moments. And we've seen that from the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, the great all players. And these players we're talking about, Michael Olise and Lamine Yamal, they've also had great moments, in their respective rights in the club, both club and country. But again, if you say I should pick one, I think I'll stick with Michael Olise. And it's not about what he has done at Bayern Munich. He didn't start at Bayern Munich. Way back from his days at Reading. Young, talented player, full of quality, he may not be full of life. There's a reason why we call him Mr. Nonchalant, but he understands the game so well. His quality on the pitch is second to none, because if you look at how he plays there's a reason why I was going.
Yamal has his qualities as well.
Yeah, I'm coming there. There's a reason why I was reading through last week, and I figured that one of the reasons why he doesn't really celebrate and all of that is because maybe he feels that his quality is better than where he is, and all of his goals, all of his free kicks, his dribbles, everything at Crystal Palace was... I said this guy is destined for the top. Now he goes to Bayern. Look at what he's doing. He has done it at Crystal Palace. Maybe a lot of people couldn't put a high lead on him just because it is Crystal Palace. It's an average side. But for we that watch the Premier League so well, we know what he did against, the big sides.
Yeah.
Arsenal, Man City, Manchester United, and the likes. But if you now just oppose that with what Lamine Yamal is doing, brilliant talent, 17-year-old breakout, did an incredible things with Barcelona last season and this season. But why I'm putting Michael Olise ahead of him is I think he's the more mature player for me.
Olise,
in terms of
more mature.
Yes, in terms of his reading of the game. He knows when to dribble, he knows when to pass, he knows when to take on the players. He can move around across the pitch just to ensure that he dictates the game. If you watch, let's go back to the game against Real Madrid. He wasn't just playing as a proper winger. Sometimes you find him in number 10 position, also dictating the pace of the game. Sometimes you find him on the other side of the pitch, dictating the pace of the game. And when he had the chance to, try those fantastic R2s that we see from the likes of Arjen Robben back then. He tried it a couple of times, and when he had that perfect moment towards the end of the game, you can see the kind of goal he scored. Lamine Yamal has done that as well. He loves he takes on any defender he comes across almost every time. But in the end, I feel that even before Michael Olise gets the ball, he knows exactly the position and how exactly he plays with his teammates, making those passes, making those true balls. It's not until you dribble a player before you actually take charge of a game. Sometimes you can just release your fellow player that is making a run. Playing for the team, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. So I think I enjoy him more Because again, you guys can, a lot of people can say, winger Lamine Yamal dribbles, he knows it takes on 1 or 2, 3, 4 players. Fine, which is great. I mean, very artistic, to the eye, artistically pleasing to the eye and all of that. But I think I enjoy Michael Olise more because he plays for the team more. And when there's a moment to strike, he strikes beautifully. So the timing of what he does, his decision making, is near perfect as compared to Lamine Yamal.
Well, from what stood out for me, you talked about the Real Madrid game. I think it was 3-3. And when, I don't know if any of you noticed it.
Yeah.
When Olise got the ball before that goal, there was Kimmich closer to him.
Mm-hmm.
There was Harry Kane also close to him. They were like, take the ball to the byline, while away the time. You could see them gesticulating.
Yeah.
But
he said he wants
he
to
did
go.
none of it. Like, he kept on coming forward. I don't know if you noticed it. I saw it clearly. Like, he kept on coming forward, attacking his marker, and took the ball to his left before he pitched that collar. So I didn't mean he went wrong. I mean, he would have gotten some stick for it, but I love the confidence because you 3-3. So
he wants to win the game outrightly. Exactly.
Just kill the game, go to the byline, delay the time. But I love that from him. But you were jumping at the bit while Bolu was talking about Olise and all that. I don't know. Do you agree with? Does Lamar have all the qualities he mentioned?
I mean, what you just talked about. Let me start from what you talked about now. I remember last season when Barcelona lost to Inter Milan. I think it was 3-3. It was 3-3, and no, it was 3-2, and then Barcelona would have qualified, and then Lamine Yamal moved the ball, and then he played the ball. I think Jan Sommer saved, or it hits the crossbar, and before Inter had that transition before they went to score. So I'm just starting off from where you pick, because if you are saying Olise can do that, Lamine Yamal can also do that. And people were saying, oh, why did Lamine Yamal not also take the ball to the byline? People mentioned that, he should have just wasted time. So all that aside, I do not agree with Bolu. Normally, I do not like to do comparisons, but since we're on the show and then we have to do it, I think I would stick with Lamine Yamal. Firstly, I think many of us have forgotten that Lamine Yamal is just an 18-year-old boy who is playing for Barcelona. I'm not using
why this 18-year-old?
No, now calm down. I'm not. It's not a form of It's not a form of manipulation. But let's just state the fact. This is an 18-year-old boy. For many teams, 18-year-old boys are people they call prospects. Okay,
Mbappe was doing it at Monaco. I hate him, my brother.
Let's look at the quality of team. I'm talking about for Barcelona. An 18-year-old playing for Barcelona should be a boy that probably just comes in at maybe 60 minutes, gives you a maybe 30 minutes performance and do all of those things. Or even if he starts game, I mean, look at the amount of games Lamine Yamal has played for Barcelona. Look at the amount of games he has played for Spain. And then you mentioned doing everything. The place I disagree most with Bolu is talking about maturity. If you're talking about maturity, there's someone.
Olise is a more mature player.
I don't agree. I feel Lamine Yamal is better at what he does in terms of maturity, and that's why I started with the 18. This is an 18-year-old boy who plays as if he has played football for. Of course, he has been playing football for so many years, but as a young player, he plays football as if he has been playing top-flight football for more than 6, 7, 10 years. This is someone who has just played. I think it was when Xavi. This is his third full season. In fact, not his third full season. This is his second full season. And then he's already in everybody's face like, this is someone who knows how to do everything. Lamine Yamal takes the ball. The job of a winger when I was growing up was take on your man, get into the final third. If you are on the byline, pull out the cross. If you are on maybe transition, drop a very good pass and let your attacker score. Lamine Yamal does all of this. The job of a winger is also, if you can score goals, score goals. The job of a winger or a player also, football basically is for entertainment. Lamine Yamal gives you entertainment. Lamine Yamal creates action. He creates chances where there's no chance at all. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Where there's supposed to be no chance, Lamine Yamal creates chance. I mean, Lamine Yamal could be doubled up on or even tripled up on. Maybe 3 players or 2 players are on him, and then before you know it, he's doing something you would not have imagined someone to do. Look at instances that happened recently. Look at the Atletico Madrid game. Look at the game against who did they? Yes, it was the Atletico Madrid game in Champions League. There were so many things Lamine Yamal did. I mean, and this is why they call him talk and do. Most times, Lamine Yamal is not a player that people should be sending to press conferences. When I'm talking about, if you understand what I'm saying, but this is someone that goes to press conferences and is talking for a team like Barcelona. This is a team that have had Messi, Ronaldinho, Samuel Eto'o, Deco. I mean, great players. They have played for even Neymar, Luis Suarez. But every time, most times when it's in a dicey position, they say, okay, Lamine Yamal, you go and do the talking for us. Why? Because they know that this is someone, when he says it, he's going to back it up on the pitch. You don't want to put out a player that, okay, goes out to talk at the press conference and on the pitch is probably not playing well. But Lamine Yamal is that guy that will go to the press conference and say it, and on the pitch is also doing the talking. Everything Olise can do, Lamine Yamal can also do. And why I'm going to pick
Lamine...
That's
something your
Lamine
debate as
and
well.
why I'm going to stick with Lamine Yamal is, firstly, as an 18-year-old boy playing for Barcelona is a big team. You have mentioned Kylian Mbappe and Monaco. Monaco would not reach the standard of Barcelona. Barcelona is a big team.
So more like you saying, where was Olise at 18?
I'm not even. Yeah, let me say it. Yeah, where was Olise at 18? Because I mean, this is someone. He played the Euros. He won the Euros at 16. Because when we talk about Lamine Yamal, we kind of make it look like, oh, this is not a boy. This is a boy that most times. Maybe he's just probably supposed to just be finishing his
this 18 year
no,
old.
it's not. I'm not.
Why don't you?
I don't buy the idea.
How old is Olise, please?
When he doesn't,
Olise's 24, right?
when he doesn't perform at that level that we've seen, especially from last season, we don't say he's
I disagree when you say. Yeah.
But when he does well, is when you now say,
no, sorry, what do you mean? Sorry, Bolu, what do you mean by he did not perform? This is someone who came second in the Ballon d'Or behind Dembele. The reason why Dembele is winning is because of the Champions League. So it means that if Dembele had not won the Champions League, Lamine Yamal could have won the Ballon d'Or.
I'm dealing with reality.
No, sorry. No, you said I'm also dealing with reality. He came second in the Ballon d'Or. You said he did not perform last season.
For both players
if
this
you say
season.
He did not perform in the last season. I would not agree with that. Lamine Yamal is aura. It takes control of the game. Lamine Yamal will take on 2 or 3 players. He will drop a pass where there's no pass out of. He would score where there should be no goal. He will create assists where there should be no assists. So everything Olise can do, Lamine Yamal can do better.
You don't care about the maturity.
And if Lamine Yamal can do it in a league like La Liga, if he can do it at a stage like the UEFA Champions League, this is the second season. Where was Olise last season? And this is not a thing. Okay, let's look at everything Lamine Yamal is doing this season. He has done it from the first season where he started with Xavi. I think he played about few games towards from January towards the end of the season. That was where he came out, and then they played the Euros as well. Went to the Euros, dazzled so much. That was where the talk and do talk started
dazzled
from.
So much, but
yes,
what was his name? Mendy. Pocket him the other day.
No, you can't use one game. You can't use
because
he
also went on social media to say that he was ready for that game. But what happened? You saw what happened. I mean,
you can't use one game. You can't use one game to judge. You can't use one game. You have to take a cumulative of games.
Same person that
you
used the phrase talk and do. Why did he not do talk and do?
Talk and do means you are consistent. I mean, even as journalists, you don't get it right. Let's use what we are doing.
I'm not beefing him.
No, I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about.
I just feel that
I'm not talking about.
He's a more mature player.
Let's use ourselves as journalists.
And don't you think age plays a part in that as well? When you say age
is just a number. Age. I mean, he has been doing it since Crystal Palace days. He's been performing since Crystal Palace days. It's because it is Crystal Palace. And do you want to compare Crystal Palace to Barcelona? Olise will walk into that Barcelona side and do a more better job. The Champions League that they've not won since 2015. I'm not saying because the manager has his own part to play in this, but he will also do what Lamine Yamal is doing. He will even do a better. I just feel that in the end, I know that they are both doing almost the same job, but again, I feel that in terms of decision making and playing as a collective.
So more like a team player.
Yeah, Olise does it more for me. I'm not saying fine though, you can do all of those dribbles and all of that. I mean, we've seen players do it in the past. I mean, which we enjoyed and all of that. But this time, the game is about results.
Do you know how many assists? When you say
and Olise will give you all of that so well.
Do you know how many?
I mean, look at the way he gives Hurricane these years. Look at the way he
walks
the ball.
Chances?
He walks the ball to them. It's not as if it's not about dribbling and all of that. He walks the ball to them. When he gets that chance, he also scored. Is that good? I mean, when we look at it, we go background. He's a Nigerian and all of that, but it's very unfortunate that he's not playing for the country. But again, as a talent, as a quality left, I mean, He's one of, going to the World Cup now because the World Cup is coming through. He's one of the crucial players that will help France if they want to get to the final.
Is Lamine Yamal
Right now.
So it tells you,
I'm not saying he's not going to do all of that. I just feel I'm serious. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that Lamine Yamal is not good, but I just prefer. I mean, we've seen what he has done. I mean, last season,
Olise is the better player.
I stood on my feet at some point in some of the games. I saw Lamine Yamal play last season Champions League. I'm like, who is this guy?
Have you stood on your feet?
But Olise, nah. I mean,
you see, you have already backed up.
I'm
he can stand up for. He can stand on his feet for Lamine Yamal, but he can't stand on his feet for Olise.
Is it because I didn't tell you that I didn't stand my feet?
If you did, you would have mentioned.
I told you that I enjoy him more. It's not the first time. No, it's because
he's had some really good moments with Bayern.
I'm not doubting
that game against
not
that
even
goal,
not even from Bayern alone. Bayern is just because again it's a bigger team. You know, it's a bigger team. I mean, they are the best team in the Bundesliga. So of course, I will always be on in the media always come. At Crystal Palace, if you watch him so well, this guy is a great of a player.
Bolu, let me ask you a question. Who is the best player for Bayern Munich this season? Emmanuel, I'm asking you too.
Why?
No, I'm getting somewhere because obviously Lamine Yamal is the best player for Barcelona this season, and if Olise is not the best,
you can give Olise that shot as well.
Why do you give it to him? Why?
I mean, the numbers cumulatively, those are assists, what he's done. You can give it to Olise.
Why?
I just said it cumulatively, the numbers.
He does not have better numbers than Harry Kane.
I know you were going to call Harry Kane, but
it's not the best numbers. That's my point is that Lamine Yamal is playing in the Barcelona. Barcelona is a big side, a side that every season. I mean, like I mentioned, players that have played for Barcelona. If you are that age and you are the best player for your team, let me just say,
last season when Barcelona won the league, who was the best player?
Rafinha. I'm not going to argue.
Right.
But I'm talking about this season. They are going to win the league this season as well. Okay. Lamine Yamal is the best player for the team. I mean, you can't say he's not matured. That's where I'm having an issue. When you say, he's not matured. He's matured. He's playing like a boy that's been playing football for 10 years. His football is matured.
I'm going to tell you something.
His crossing is matured. He has created more assists. He has created more chances. He has created more chances this season than Olise. So that's my point. If you can create more chances, more assists than Olise this season, then I mean, I don't think that you have an issue.
For both players is up there, as you can see on your screens. I mean, Lamine Yamal, both the same number of games they've played. I mean, Lamine Yamal scored more goals as well, and I mean, you made a significant point though. I don't know if Olise comes to this Barcelona team, I don't know if he's gonna do what Lamine Yamal has done, but I mean, he's gonna really, play some football if he's in that Barcelona team. But when it comes to the national, I mean, there are arguments for both sides as well. Olise, you wonder, what he's done with the national team.
If you mention top three players in Spain right now, who you mention? Top 3 is even far. Top 2 or even top 1. So I mean, where's the conversation going to? Like, Lamine Yamal is going to be top 2 and top 2 because maybe there are some other senior players in the national team of Spain, maybe Cavall or Rodri. But player that is making an impact for Spain, Lamine Yamal will be number 1, number 2, number 3.
How many big players do they have?
This current Spain.
Exactly. How many big players do you have? Compared to France, who has got Mbappe?
How many big players do
Dembele is not a big player.
We have
Ballon d'Or is not a big player.
We have a lot of people watching this show, so let's do well to remind them that they're a part of it. So I mean, you watching this, Lamine Yamal or Michael Olise, 2 fantastic players in their own rights. Tell us what you think and why in the comments. Those 2 players.
Talk and do.
But I mean, credit to both of them. They're having a fantastic season.
Absolutely.
Definitely in the running for Ballon d'Or, top 10, 15, 20 at this time, if you ask me. A lot of things might still change and all that. But with that, we've gone our very first break on the show. It's been wonderful so far. And when we return, I mean, we have a lot to talk about. We have talks from the Europa League, the Champions League. We have, I'm going to give you a rundown of what went down over the weekend in Vegas, talking about WrestleMania. We're also going to touch on the NPFL and Loaded, the second half of the show. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. Still the Gliders on WGB TV. In case you saw the first half of the show, it was really entertaining. Brilliant analysis from the guys in the studio. But just before we continue, just to remind you, you can enjoy the very best of the WGB platform. All you need to do is go onto the website, use the promo code Gliders GLIDERS, and enjoy the very best. And like we always say, guys, remember to bet responsibly. Now back on the show. Before I bring on the guys, unfortunately for me, we have no WWE lovers on set today. I'm just me, myself, alone. Bolu, do you watch wrestling? I don't know. Quickly before I go on to...
Not really like that.
I don't need to ask
attention
Timothy,
to it.
No, I watch wrestling.
Timothy,
What do you mean?
but they mock me sometimes if I watch wrestling.
I
Why-
watch
why?
wrestling. I just feel like when I was growing up, I used to watch a lot of wrestling. But I felt like when I started growing up, I believed the fact that I was acting, so I kind of evolved away from watching it. But when I was young, I mean, I watch wrestling a lot. John Cena. I used to try this thing then, even when they said don't try it at home. This spear thing that Edge used to do. So I love wrestling a lot. But
All right,
I just moved away.
Talking about wrestling, and you mentioned John Cena, just to remind you, WrestleMania 42 went down in Vegas. 2 nights over the weekend. John Cena was the host of the event for the 2 nights. But talking about the matches proper, I mean, we saw fantastic matches across the nights. Night 1 began with, I Show Speed making waves, made his WrestleMania debut. I don't know if he's going to do this long term, but
Is he a wrestler?
Nah, he's content, but he's got numbers, so maybe they are.
So it means that
they're
it's a
trying to
script.
integrate him. I know, yeah, of course, it's scripting, but he teamed up with the the Vision, who were without Bronze Breaker and Bronson Reed. He was just Logan Paul and Austin Theory. So I Show Speed came in as the third member of the tag team, but eventually he couldn't do enough. The highlights of that match was the high flying he did on Logan Paul towards the end. It was everywhere, risky. I Show Speed, what he loves to do, the risks he takes and all that. But good one for the Usos and LA Knights clinching that one for the opening match in night 1. Then on to the next, we saw Jacob Fatu got the better of Drew McIntyre. This rivalry has been building, just before WrestleMania, and it lived up to expectations. It was more like a street fight, this one, but Jacob Fatu, one of the Samoans from the Anoa'i family, one of the reputable families when it comes to WWE, where we have the likes of The Rock, Roman Reigns, the Usos, Rikishi, and the like. So, Jacob Fatu, also a member of that family, doing well against Drew McIntyre. Fantastic match. And then up next, from the men, we went to the women, and we saw a return for Paige. This one was a late call. Nikki Bella was injured, part of the Bella twins. So Paige, this one you could tell it was really scripted and well arranged. She's been away for a long time in WWE, and then she came back to team up with Brie Bella, and they went on to eventually win the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship against the likes of Nia Jax and also Lash Legend. It was a fatal 4-way tag team match. So congratulations to Paige and Brie Bella. And also we got another women's match. This time it was for the Intercontinental Championship. Becky Lynch getting the better of AJ Lee in that one. She went into an illustrious list, Becky Lynch becoming the first 3-time Women's Intercontinental Champion, clinching that one. Talking about Becky Lynch. So good one for her. She's the partner of Seth Rollins. This is not in terms of wrestling now, in real life. So yes, good to see Becky Lynch also getting the better of her opponent in that one. Now up next we saw Gunter. For night 1, it was the game that was a proper WrestleMania match. Gunter up against Seth Rollins, getting the better of Seth Rollins, who was injured in the build up to this game. But he needed interference. We're talking about Gunter. He needed interference from Bron Breakker, who we thought was injured, but he made a surprise appearance to spoil the party for Seth Rollins in this fixture. Then up next, Liv Morgan clinched the WWE Women's World Championship against Stephanie Verker. Another time where Liv Morgan will go on to become a champion. She won the Royal Rumble, so it gave her a pass to compete in the WrestleMania, and she also did the job against Stephanie Verker. And then the main event for night 1 saw Cody Rhodes defeat Randy Orton. This one was emotional because Cody Rhodes looked up to Randy Orton in his early WWE years, and this time now it's more like a mentor going up against his mentee. Cody Rhodes have been part of the main event in past 2 WrestleManias now. We saw him ended the story of the Roman Reigns family last time out, but this time he got the better of Randy Orton to retain his crown as the WWE Undisputed Champion. Randy Orton, even though with some assists from Pat McAfee, you would know Pat McAfee well. He does some couple of shows on ESPN as well, so he was brought into the mix as well. But Cody Rhodes eventually went on to win the championship. Then for night 2, I mean, this one was one of the selling points of WWE this year and for WrestleMania, where we saw people mimicking the Obafemi walk and all that. So, I mean, Obafemi against Brock Lesnar. The build up to this game was really, really massive. But shout out to the Nigerian. I mean, this time it's good to see a Nigerian making his mark in the WWE. I mean, this guy was throwing shot puts years ago at the National Stadium, and now all the way to WWE, getting a WrestleMania match against a legend like Brock Lesnar. So good one for Obafemi. Kick-started night 2, fantastic win, and Brock Lesnar retired just right after this match. So maybe a perfect opponent to retire Brock Lesnar. So I mean, what WWE is working with this young man Obafemi, I want to keep our fingers crossed. He's got his eyes now on Roman Reigns, so we'll see how that one pan out. Then we got Penta, also retained his Intercontinental Championship in a ladder match up against the likes of John Evans, JD McDonough, Dragon Lee, Rusev, and Rey Mysterio. So good one for Penta, retained the title. Then up next, Trick Williams is the new champion, the new United States champion against Sami Zayn. Yes, Trick Williams did that one, but this is not Trick Williams. This is the Demon Finn Balor, who also got the better of Dominic Mysterio, the son of Rey Mysterio. And anytime Finn Balor turns into the demon mode, he really loses a match. So another win for the Demon Finn Balor on a WrestleMania event. So a lot of games we also saw for night 2. Rhea Ripley also is your new WWE Women's Champion. She did this one against Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill, who came into the limelight in WWE like a house on fire, defeating the likes of Nia Jax and getting that run to become champion. But this time she's been dethroned by Rhea Ripley, who was also a Royal Rumble winner, giving her a pass for this match against Jade Cargill. Then for the main event for night 2, I mean, the tribal chief, the OTC, Roman Reigns. I mean, even though you don't watch wrestling, you would know who Roman Reigns is this time. And he got this one against CM Punk. I love the trash talking before this match from both guys. I mean, it's not just about the fight, it's not just about WWE, but your mic game needs to be on point. How you trash talk, how you say things, before your bout. So the mic game for these two guys before this game was really, really massive. So Roman Reigns was your champion, your World Heavyweight Champion, your new champion for night 2 for WrestleMania. So in summary, that was how it went down for the biggest pay-per-view that WWE has. 2 nights for WrestleMania. The next one is going to be in Saudi Arabia. So I mean, you could see how prepared these guys are. They knew what's going to happen in subsequent events. So yes, that's it for me. For my WWE faithfuls who will be listening to this, so tell us what you think what went down in WrestleMania in the comments, and I'll be glad to hear your thoughts. Yes, I've been blabbing, I've been talking for the two guys here. So let's take it back to football. Timothy Bolu, a lot has been said about the Champions League and the Europa League. I mean, we all know the new format system, down to the Europa League and the Conference League, league phase, then knockout proper. But I was watching the Europa League quarterfinal in the last couple of days. I see teams like, Braga, see teams like, Nottingham Forest, Aston Villa, and these teams. And has it the fact that teams no longer drop from the Champions League to the Europa, has it watered down the competition? I mean, we've seen big teams in the Europa League final as well. I mean, this was a competition where Arsenal Chelsea played final a couple of years ago, So the fact that teams no longer drop down from the Champions League, has it watered down the Europa League tournament, the second tier of European football?
I like the new format, and I don't think it has watered it down. It's just a thing of maybe because we're not used to the system of understanding that these formats. I mean, there's a reason why it's called the UEFA Champions League, the UEFA Europa League, and the UEFA Conference League. I mean, when the Conference League first started then as well, I think a big team won it. And then this was a competition that was supposed to be meant for teams who cannot really participate at the bigger stages, the UEFA Champions League and the UEFA Europa League. And I understand that when you crash out of the Champions League, it's just best that you go home and reset for the next season. Let those in that competition participate, and anybody that gets to win it wins it. Automatically, if you are playing in the Champions League, you're already bigger than the person playing in the Europa League for that season. So there's no point trying to go there and say, okay, you want to win it. And in all honesty, winning it is just a thing of, if you go, let's say, okay, a team drops from the Champions League and goes to win the Europa League. It doesn't make sense financially because in the UEFA statement that was it in February that they released it, or March? No, it was earlier this year. I think it was February. And when they released the financial statement for 2024-2025, participating in the league phase of the Champions League alone cost 57 million. Revenue, just participation in the league format was 57 million euros. There were also bonuses for those who participated in the playoffs, bonuses across qualifying to round of 16, quarterfinal. So for a base fee was 57 million euros. Tottenham Hotspur won the UEFA Europa League. I think they got about maybe 40 million euros. So that shows you that it's just a thing that even if you drop deep and you go and play it, it doesn't make sense financially. It's just a case of you are winning a trophy, and if it doesn't make sense financially, I don't think it's worth it. So I really like the new format. It may not look, it may not seem as when we used to watch, okay, Sevilla against Manchester United, Villarreal against one team, Arsenal, Chelsea, like you did mention, and all of those, Atletico Madrid and one of our other team playing Champions League. But I mean, that side supposed to be a competition for those that cannot make it to the Champions League, and they don't make it to the Champions League. Let whoever is in that competition get to play it and leave it for them.
Bolu, do you agree with that? Because we have the Conference League as well that has been added. So does it water down the competition a little bit? The fact that teams no longer drop from the Champions League to the Europa League.
I mean, I've tagged the Europa League as a less privileged, competition. I mean, the reason why is Europa League is not the champions that plays there. The champions should remain in the Champions League, and Europa League should be for just teams that are just coming up the ranks. Maybe they have a change of ownership. Maybe billionaires investing in their teams and they want to grow. When you grow, you get new players. You boost up the squad with some quality players. They may not be at the level of the big teams, that dominate those leagues. But at least you step up. Maybe you finish maybe in 10th places before now, or 11th places. You go as high as finishing 5th, 6th. Then you have the opportunity of playing the Europa League. With that you can have the opportunity of winning a title, and also get some more money, in the bank, because again, you can't, like, Timothy has said, financially it will help, you develop financially. I mean, you have more money in the bank. Financially, you gain a lot, on that state. But if you because for the likes of Manchester United, Chelsea playing the Europa League, there's nothing really much to gain. I mean, financially, you're not going to gain anything. You're going to even have to play more games, where you're supposed to focus on, the Premier League and focus on your revival series or your survivor series, depending on which, goals and objective you've got for the season. You have to play all of those games. So it's not really, I think it's just a waste of, time and all of that. Let those young teams that wants to develop, let those young teams that want to at least have a taste of a title, go for those Europa League, go for those Conference League. Let them be there, let's have those fairy tale stories, where a team is battling survival, maybe a season before then, and the next season they go on to do something great. Case in point, Bayern Leverkusen. I mean, they were close to getting relegated when Xabi Alonso came through and, helped them scale through, and from then they won something. So it's as good as that. Let's have those kind of stories. Let those leagues be packaged for those kind of stories and for those young teams, and not for the big sides.
All right, we've got Braga, Freiburg, will be going head-to-head in the semi-final. Then Nottingham Forest against Aston Villa, two English teams also going head-to-head in that one. Now let's take it home. Now let's come to the NPFL. We saw the Oriental Derby this weekend. I mean, Rangers getting the better. They had to come from behind against Enyimba, and they are top of the NPFL table as it stands. We are 3 more games to go to the end of the NPFL season. Bolu, Rangers, Rivers United, who's going to go over the line to be current champions? I mean, Rivers United knocked out of the CAF competitions, and a lot of people expect them to, go on to win the league because at the time they had huge amount of outstanding games, and now Rangers are on top now. So.
I'll stick with Rangers to win it, because again, I think I like the project Fides Lechukwu is doing. I mean, he has won it before. Mm-hmm. He's an experienced winner of the league, and if you look at how they've played this season, I think they've been the most consistent amongst between them and Rivers United. Fine, they faltered in their last home game before this one, where they failed to win against Barao, but now they are back in the winning race. They defeated Enyimba. I think they're traveling to Bayelsa in the next couple of games, and I think they will pick point also there because Bayelsa is not that side, to actually challenge or stop them from not picking point or 3 points. So, in the end, if you look at the fixtures as well, I know Rangers are also going to play Ikorodu City in the final game
in Lagos.
In Lagos, So I mean, but before then, I think they'll wrap up the league before then. So I'll stick with Rangers to win it.
I mean, especially when you come off the back of an impressive Oriental Derby result, so it sparks a whole lot of confidence.
Yeah, and just also add, I mean, they are the best side, away side. They've picked so many points, especially in the last 10. If you look at the last 10 games, they picked more points than any other side away from home. I mean, if you can go away to those difficult grounds, Minna, you go to Bayelsa, you go to just to pick points. I mean, you're as good as very consistent, and you keep your own wins 100%. I mean, you're good to go. You're deserving of being a champion. I think I'll stick with Rangers to win it.
Timothy, it's been a competitive season in the NPFL. Teams are so close in the top and also in the bottom as well. So far, has it been an interesting season for you from what you've seen so far? How close teams are in the top and the bottom as well?
Yeah, it has been because there are some teams that, based on their first stanza form or the first round of the season, based on that form, you probably expect that they will get relegated. You probably would have thought, even towards January, February, so many teams still were in that place where you felt that it was going to not look so good for them. I mean, Barao FC, I wouldn't have thought that they would be in the position where they are right now. They're not even in the case for, I don't think they are in that place where they'll be thinking they'll get relegated. But towards January, they were quite down deep into that relegation
10th on the log, Barao FC.
I mean, it's been interesting. Even Rangers, at the point it was all Rivers United, United, Nasarawa United at the point were second, and then before you knew it, Rangers got to the top, and now it looks like if they get everything right, they'll get to win the title. That being said, I feel like the title will be decided on the final day, and this is not the one where we would have the title winner before the day. And so I don't know. I think I've said this before. I asked this question last season that if we have the title decider, how would the NPFL board, what would they do in terms of trophy presentation? What would they also do in terms of making that trophy? Because there's just one point separating these two sides, and if there's one point separating two sides with 3 games to go, it's most likely that the title will be decided on the last day. So what would the NPFL board in terms of do in terms of making sure that everything goes
Should
right?
be an helicopter somewhere.
Of course.
I mean, I just hope
Maybe.
that there will be no I don't know, I just hope that they'll get everything right, because at this point in time, I should not be the one telling them that, okay, they should be making preparations for that. So it's been an interesting season. For some teams also, they've not been in that continental chase, but at this point in time, it looks like that third position is really up for grabs. There's Ikorodu City, Nasarawa United can nip it, Abia Warriors can nip it. Shooting Stars also winning yesterday has put them in that conversation.
Yeah, impressive. Away from
Bendel
home.
Insurance winning on Saturday also has put them in that conversation. So it's really going to go down to the wire for everything, both continental decider and both relegation decider. It's all tight. Even the league title winner, I think it's going to go down to the last day, and that makes it interesting, obviously. All
right, thank you so much, guys. Brilliant analysis from the both of you. It's been a wonderful time on the show, and just before we go, we just have to do this. The industry lost a reputable figure in the last couple of days. Timison Okomi, and one of those brilliant minds when it comes to sports broadcasting in the industry as well. And I mean, Edafe is one person I'm close to, and he always spoke highly of Temiso Okomi, and it's just sad that we get to realize that he's no more. And quick one, guys, Bolu, I don't know if you have any encounter with Temiso. Just a quick tribute before we call it a wrap on the show today.
Yeah, I mean, it was really sad when I heard the story. I remember way back when I did go to TV, this viewing center to watch the game. ITV was
this was him on air as well.
Yeah,
Classic,
but was the thing right there. I mean, they were the broadcast right of the Premier League, and I mean, I watched him back then alongside Mr. Biola Kazim. I mean, those are the Egbons that we look up to.
Yeah.
When we also love sport, but we also want to get in industry, and they are the one we look up to. Like, I mean, if they can be doing it, they are like a source of inspiration for us, to actually be also at that level. And it's really sad. I mean, I met him 2 months ago because I had an opportunity to be on another platform, and
wow.
I mean, I was even vying to see him via my friend who I went to meet, and fortunately I met him before the show and we greeted. And fast forward to last week, it's really sad. It's really sad to actually, I mean, for all of the great things. I mean, Mr. Egbete also talked about the great stuff, the friendship and all. I mean, those are the things that we love to hear from people. And if those kind of people cannot stay so long for us to actually meet them and also, have a fair share of what, they enjoyed. And it's really sad. But again, may so rest in peace.
Timothy, quick one. Anything to say?
I did not meet Uncle Temiso, but someone I work with, which is Edafe, talks so highly of him. I mean, there was a show you guys were having together, and then I was expecting him to mention him because I think he was just talking about journalists. But of course, I knew that was an oversight. But if you listen to him constantly, you know that he talks about Temiso Okomi so well. So if Edafe can talk about you so well and then put you at this level, then it means that you are someone that is worth respecting. Yeah. And I pray that his soul rest in peace.
Indeed, may his gentle soul rest in peace. I mean, God grant the family the fortitude to bear the loss. So many great tributes on social media, online. And I mean, it's just a delight to read them, to know them, to hear them. So many people I look up to in the industry had so many nice things to say about Temiso Okomi. But we pray that the family will continue to go on stronger and stronger as his legacy will continue to live on. It's a wrap on the show today. My name is Emmanuel Sebastian. I've done this with Timothy and, of course, with Bolu. Do enjoy the rest of the week. Stay safe and bye-bye.